Hi, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Dating Over 50. This is D Love. I'm here with a good friend of mine, G. G is 55 years old.
In September.
And he's a really good friend of mine, and so I want to introduce him to the show and get his views and opinion on what it's like to date over 50. So I'm going to start off with my normal question which is, are men really looking for relationships over 50?
Depending on the man, my friends, no. Most of them been divorced, and they're at the stage of the game now. They just looking to play around, have some fun.
Oh, so they're not looking for serious relationships?
No, no. Maybe a serious relationship, but nothing with pressure.
With pressure.
We're not doing any pressure.
No, and by pressure, are we talking about?
Zero pressure. That's what we're talking about. My friend just called me yesterday, and he had a young lady who he was dating over the phone for 9 months. And when she came into town, she played the, let's see how we can say this. She played the cat and mouse game. And she had 2 suitcases. She was supposed to stay up there for a whole week when she came and visit. She only ended up staying 1 day.
Wow.
Because when she got there, now they've been talking for 9 months. She wanted to play the game like she didn't want to do anything. He put her right back on the plane the next morning.
Now, when you say didn't want to do anything, are we talking sex? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that's what I'm talking about, zero pressure. We felt like, and you hear me say we because I was in total agreement with it. I've been talking to you for 9 months. You know everything what you're going to know about me, what I want you to know about me. And now we get here and you talking about, no, we could do that later on next time we come up and all. And maybe that could have been good for some people, but the older people, come on now, we ain't playing games. You know what you want to do. And if you don't know what you want to do, you're not the one for me. And that's where we at. That's what I mean by zero pressure.
Okay, so that means that you're not over 50. We're not really looking to get married as men.
No. And believe it or not, I think where women go wrong over 50, they don't really know their audience. They really don't know. They don't know their competition. They think it's just the young women out here. Young women don't want no relationship as far as come to marriage. Zero. So older men are cool with that because we'd rather pay to play, do what we're going to do, and you go on your way and I go on my way. I get up with you when I get up with you.
So we're not looking for that tie where we're doing the 24/7 thing.
No, that's too much. And most of people most men didn't been married already, or they didn't play the game so long they're not even willing to get married. They can't. All the restrictions that women over 50 have. They think because they have a car and they have their stuff together, that's all relative. If I have my car and I'm together, I don't need your stuff. And if we could put it together, that's fine, but I don't need to put it together. And that's why women are out here, a lot of my friends out here, beautiful women, but they have all these restrictions. Who you talking to, little girl? And that's what we feel like. Who you talking to with these restrictions? You could do this, if you do this, and if you do this. No, I could do this anyway. And I could do it with 2 or 3 women. And what I could get from here on Monday, I could get it from here on Tuesday, I could get it here on Wednesday.
So you don't have to do all the jumping through hoops for you just to get it whenever you feel like dishing it out, when you can get it whenever you want.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Your audience. Again, I don't think y'all know y'all audience. Y'all think it's just you all think it's just the younger women too. But actually, you have women in your own category is making bad for you all now. Because now you have the women that's over 50, they starting to get in line. And I hate to say it like that because I feel like but they starting to get in line now. Okay, let me get on this bandwagon and say, hey, now I can have I can have everything that I want. Women now, they think because they got the education, they have the money, and they have the house and all the stuff in order, and I should have it. But you don't have the complete package. You don't have the man, and you don't have anyone to share with.
Right. And that's the thing we're realizing at this age that we don't. So what you're saying is that women over 50 who are still looking for the fairy tale of the man coming in, being the husband, taking care of me, we're going to ride off into the sunset together, is not really what all men at this age are looking for. You guys are kind of done with the whole, I got to do this, I need to be here, meaning that you could find somebody, but that's not really what your focus is when you're out here in the streets.
Just to say we carrying the ball right now. Women carried the ball since they were 16 years old. Let's think about it. You all carried the ball since y'all was 16 years old to almost 40.
When you say carry the ball, what do you mean?
Which means you was the head of the sex and you was head of the relationship.
Okay.
Pretty much what you all said we went along with because we wanted it. Now, the tides are turned, and that's what you all need to understand. At a woman now, with any type of rules, to me, is outdated. Don't get me wrong. You have to have your guidelines, what you're gonna go by, but you gotta also learn how to bend a little bit. And reason being, you all parents told y'all if you go to school, you make it, you could take care of yourself. That was the wrong message. My mama didn't go by that. My aunts didn't go by that. They dealt with what my daddy put down and what my uncles put down. Sometimes they had 2 families, 3 different families. And you all women now say, we don't have to take that.
Right.
I got my own stuff.
Right.
But guess what? You ain't got your own man.
So, and you're right. I mean, my parents and your parents, the mothers that were at the age of where they weren't working. They weren't, they were, but they maybe weren't working enough to take care of a whole family. So they took what they got from the husband because the husband was supporting them. And so they knew, okay, in order for me and my children to survive and to have the man who's going to do all the other stuff he should do, bring most of the money home or whatever, then this is what I have to put up with. And you're right. The next generation, our generation, the women said, I'm not doing that because one, like you said, the parents taught me, you're going to go to school, get your own education so you can take care of yourself. And I think it was because of what they went through. But what they forgot, like you said, to tell us is that, but the man is still going to be the same man. That he's still going to have the family someplace else or the woman someplace else. But now at least you can take, I don't know, because I'm starting to feel that way too, as though, but that's not enough. I mean, we're at 50 saying, but we still want the whole thing. We don't want to settle for a piece of that man and let another piece go to somebody else. But you're saying what?
And that's why you're going to be 60 without a man and 70 without a man. My mom made it to the finish line. Your mom made it to the finish line. They stuck their chest out and they saw that yellow ribbon. They went through it. They made it to the end with their man.
Yeah.
You're going to share a man either way it go. They didn't tell you that either. You're going to share a man either way it go. Now, when we get done, we get done. But hear me out. Times has changed. You got women have the same ideas that I'm talking about, that they doing the same thing. But at the end, they taking the L. Either it's going to be the loss or the lesson. They're going to get one of them. And then they look at us and they say we immature. But you got us on that from 16 to 40. We don't give a damn what you say you were immature no more. So what? I'm immature. On my way over to Leslie house.
Because like you said, during that 16 to 40 period, if those guys are still ready to have the relationship,
Absolutely.
do the rules and all that. So now what we're talking about is dating over 50. So over 50, you've decided, you know what, I did that.
I'm not dating. I'm picking.
You're picking.
I'm not dating at all. I'm picking what I want because I have options. And I have options all the way from 21 to whatever I want to go to.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
So because of that mentality, then you feel like I don't need to do any rules.
Then,
I don't need any stipulations. If you're going to make me jump here, jump there, I don't need to do that.
Done it from 14 to 60. I'm tired of doing these hurdles. I've done it already. And I found out what I got. I get the same little reward.
And what's that?
You want to call it the pink slip?
We'll call it the pink slip.
I get the same little reward.
Wow. So this is an interesting perspective. Again, I'm interviewing different guys because, again, I want to show with this show is that we all have different opinions, but we need to know what kind of man we're dealing with. Because, like you said, I mean, I've had conversations on the show with people who are saying that they want relationship, and then maybe they're not really telling the truth. I hear what you're saying. It's like, but what happens if you find the right one? And that one we're going to talk about in a second. So I want to thank you so much for listening to this podcast. As you see, this is going to be a very interesting conversation with G. Please feel free to subscribe, hit the notification button so that you will not miss an episode with him. So I'll be back talking more with G about dating over 50. Thank you again for listening to the podcast. This is D Love, wishing you peace and D Love.